The Game Awards probably needs no introduction, but to casuals, it's basically the replacement of E3 and the more mainstream edition of Sony and Nintendo's presentation broadcasts. If you know that award shows are often scam, then this isn't anything different. We all know this whether you love watching the Game Awards or sleep through it. Recently, there was a new Game Awards this year which neither Kingdom Hearts fans and Half-Life fans liked. I don't know why you guys expected those to be revealed. And Expedition 33 kept making sure that no other game came out this year. While many people are often disappointed, please stop setting up expectations. This isn't anything different. I'd like to go straight to the point and talk about the strange moments of the Game Awards. I should know that I've recorded this on my phone. My laptop doesn't have a microphone, so I apologize about the background noise. And to make things clear, this won't cover everything, so I suggest looking up extra information for yourself. The Game Awards was established in 2014, but before that, people had the Golden Joystick Awards. It's still in the Game Awards, but the Game Awards has a bigger influence. The first winner of the Game Awards was Dragon Age Inquisition, which I guess makes sense. I may be wrong, but I don't remember many games coming out in 2014. So all good beginnings so far. Keep in mind, this is just a brief summary so far. The second winner of the Game Awards was The Witcher 3 in 2015. A lot of people loved The Witcher 3, whether they started with it or was a fan of it. But back then, a lot of video games were focusing on open world games before it got tiring. But this basically shows the era games were back then. However, through games like The Witcher 3, people have started to become more noticeable with games with not only bigger sales and more player bases, but also the Game Awards started racking up viewers. 2016 was the year that got Overwatch awarded as a Game of the Year, which marked the trend of hero shooters right after open world games. While Dragon Age Inquisition also had multiplayer, Overwatch fully focused on multiplayer, making Overwatch the first PvP-driven game to win multiplayer. So far in the first 2 years, there's nothing much to talk about since its simple beginnings, but when we get to 2017, gaming paved way for the current era. 2017 was the year a Nintendo game won a big award. While Nintendo was pretty successful by their own, this was the first game that got nominated for a big award compared to multi-platform games or games primarily played on PlayStation often. Nintendo won 2017's Game of the Year through Breath of the Wild. While I don't really enjoy playing Zelda games, this was a pretty big deal at the time, especially when 2017 was when they came back from after the Wii U. While open world was already mainstream enough, it became trendy again due to Breath of the Wild. Although I was busy playing Xenoblade 2 and Mario Odyssey back in high school, so I don't really care about Breath of the Wild. While 2017 had the Nintendo IP winning the award, 2018 marked the year a Sony game IP winning Game of the Year. The God of War reboot was enjoyed by many newcomers and some veterans of the series, though it didn't have a bigger impact on how games tend to be played outside of how Sony makes their games. Currently in the video, you can get an idea that this is all games currently mainstream. You'd be like, yes, that's how basic popularity votes work. But that's not the point of the video. It's about showing an idea of how they work so that you stop getting disappointed next time. And this is for any reveal ever. Regardless, I'd rather not do people on the calling line for too long. Shoutouts to Sir Mostly though, he's been a big part of my current activities lately. The more the games keep nominated and awarded, the more the Game Awards keep doubling in views every year. When the Molluscum outbreak happened in 2020, companies resorted to virtual events instead. However, it was also the same year people started to dunk on Miss Piggy's current husband. The game that won 2020 was somehow The Last of Us. Now, if you remember the internet back then, you could not escape hearing about The Last of Us 2, whether you liked it or not. While many loved the first game, others hated it. I can't say much because I don't play The Last of Us, but you don't have to know that Naughty Dog basically took 7 awards, which was basically the first absurd record of the Game Awards. However, both Naughty Dog and Geoff denied that he got paid by them. All I can say is that most of the votes and awards were most likely rigged by fans that don't know any better or company shields that don't even get paid. So like Nintendo fans. After 2020 came 2021. Honestly, I wasn't even around for 2021 because I focused on college, so I had no idea they even hosted the Game Awards during the outbreak still. Not much happened this year since it was a dry year for everyone, be it a Steam fan, a Sony fan, or a Nintendo fan. 2022. Bill Clinton. It was a bit of an oddball year, but it had a big audience compared to before. After the end of the Molluscum outbreak, they've decided to host the Game Awards locally again. Now this one is pretty wild. Remember when I briefly mentioned that I was busy with Xenoblade 2 and care about Breath of the Wild for 2017? Would you believe it if I told you Xenoblade 3 was somehow nominated for that year? Even though I hate Xenoblade 3, except Uni, I love Uni, it was a big deal seeing Xenoblade on the big stage, even if it barely won any award. But alas, the winner was Elden Ring. FromSoft Souls title. Even though even though Elden Ring was the second FromSoft game to win Game of the Year, they were still primarily a AA studio. Not that budgets matter to any game or quality, but just thought I'd let you guys know. But their first time winning Game of the Year was Sekiro in 2019. I skipped out 2019 because nothing much happened, and I didn't really play any Souls game until 2023. It's funny because 2023 was the year I stopped being a Xenoblade fan, and the same year I got into Souls games. Now I adore both Demon Souls and Xenoblade 2 next to Mario Galaxy. And like I said, I don't know Zelda much, so I had no interest in Tears of the Kingdom. It was a sequel to a game that had already won Game of the Year. I don't think it won twice. 2023.
All right. Well, guys. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Really disappointed. They're disappointed.
Baldur's Gate 3. No, but seriously, if you look at 2023, barely much happened at all. So Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be the winner of the year. Even if it was a strange game of its kind, it did make people interested in the D&D genre. They were not. They were just rigged up over the characters, which I don't blame them. 2024. Well, a DLC campaign was somehow nominated before Stellar Blade. As much as I liked Elden Ring, I never understood why the DLC was even nominated. It was too hard for most people at the time that some, even veterans, felt it was too much with a disappointing final boss reveal, and literal Dragon Ball and Naruto moves that you can barely do because you'd be punished for trying those moves yourself. However, outside of that, 2024 was a big year for the PS5. It had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which was a stupidly timed PS5 exclusive like my brother. The first part did well on PC too. What is the chicanery? Stellar Blade. The game is better now with new content though, and it was a good game outside of feeling freaky. End of discussion. And Astrobot, a surprisingly charming game, even though most of the representation in Astrobot are mostly a graveyard for now. While I never played Astrobot because I don't have a PS5, I've seen some clips of the game and it looked pretty good. Would love to play it if it comes to PC because I don't want to pay for a PS5 in this economy. I mean, apparently it's only on PS5 because it's heavily reliant on the DualSense controls, gimmicks, and motion controls, and it won't work on PC. All in all, Astrobot won Games of the Year. Pretty good enough time, but barely any reveals or any other game that came out this year outside of it being the second year of Elden Ring. 2025. Oh brother. So an indie game won Game of the Year. Unfortunately, it won too many awards. How do you win Best Art Direction when you look like French Final Fantasy with Elden Ring's color scheme and Persona's UI placements? How? That aside, no one saw Claire Obscura won the show. Everybody dogpile on the awards, which I'm sure Obscure is a good game, but I'm not interested in it. Even if it was AAA or AA gaming, I don't think it would be interested in me. Would love to have that hairstyle revive as an option to playthrough. Now, the reactions to 2025 was mostly justified, but other times exaggerated. You had Kingdom Hearts fans slowly losing their souls because popular accounts for the series kept betting on everyone's souls. Meanwhile, Half-Life fans have a sort of Jin magic. First of all, why would you ever expect Kingdom Hearts on a show where it historically barely ever been acknowledged? And two, why would Half-Life be announced? The show is about current mainstream popularity with casuals. Like, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan saying this. Come on, guys, please be better than this. I don't want to see Grift-sounding Nintendo Land-sounding videos from you guys. What is happening? And Cynical, please stop doing challenges with your hair and eyebrows. Your jeans are better than this. But anyways, you had people treating Claire Obscura the next coming of RPGs when we literally had this period with Persona 5. And people seeing no issues with it winning nearly 10 awards. Nearly 10 awards! Do you see what I mean? I don't know what it is about RPGs specifically, but man, they always seem to attract absolute riggers. Now, I'm not a roguelike or a Hades person at all, but Claire Obscura winning Best Art Direction is a strange choice. And now with the game being overpraised too much, it's going to be hated by non-casuals or even people that were never interested because we were in an era where people keep treating games like life and death situations. I've seen people make funny jokes like, why did 7 Deadly Predators show up? That should have been Kingdom Hearts 4. Or people saying Clair Obscur isn't game of the year, it's game of the decade, which is fun because after The Last of Us 2 happened, every game has been trying to achieve high grounds like it, even if it isn't the same genre. Obviously, that's not entirely the game's fault because we have examples like Call of Duty and Sony somehow having Concord take up 8 years of development. But I'm trying to talk about how, because of what happened with The Last of Us 2, we're gonna see a repeat of that with Clair Obscur. I don't know what else to add for the video since everybody that talked about this year's Game Awards have already spoken their piece. But I want to just add a small short piece of point to end the video. And I'm sorry if my voice sounds like this. This is my first time making a video like this. Please stop trying to be right on every discussion you keep creating. Not everything is going to be fair or play properly with your wants and needs. Sometimes you might adapt to it. Sometimes you might get tired or irritated, and that's okay. But when that happens, it's not about, oh, this no longer fits me. It's about taking a break with the medium and having other stuff to do. It doesn't have to be being outside doing self-indulgent errands. You can just take a break from focusing on that side of the internet and focus on a different side of the internet. Or you can always pick up other hobbies. Please don't ever be worried about your checklist or what genre or label a game has. This last part might be confusing, but if you have games that you like from genres you don't enjoy, that's basically what I mean. As always, stay mindful, chill, and God bless.